Welcome to Hot Topics in International Trade, brought to you by Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group.
Hi, this is Bob Brewer with Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group. Welcome to the podcast with me once again, Kerry Wang.
Hi, Bob.
A senior associate attorney. She's out in our LA office. And those of you who don't know Kerry, you need to give a little bit about yourself. You're a licensed attorney and practice in China.
Yes.
As well as California.
Yes.
And you basically are my connection to China.
Oh, thank you.
You are my bridge to China. Kerry stopped in and you check out some of the podcasts that we are done. We get specific, like this one specifically. We really want to talk about Section 232. Mm-hmm. You ready for that?
Yeah.
Now, honestly, before we get into that, you did a webinar recently out in California. Who'd you do that one for?
Yes, I gave a webinar on Section 232 to the Los Angeles Customs Broker and Freight Forwarder Association.
Okay.
And I did it with Robert Stein. We co-presented.
Robert Stein is our VP of Braumiller Consulting. By the way.
Yes. So I shared some insights from a technical perspective, from a legal perspective. Okay. Well, Robert, we all know Robert has 3 decades of broker experience. Yep. So he shared some insights from operational side, which turned out to be a really good, we had a good turnout. I believe we have 250. Yeah, people sign up, supposedly broke a record there. But
it's a hot topic.
Yeah, it is a hot topic.
Well, I'm going to delve into this isn't new. I mean, there was an evolution here. I'm looking at my notes. It's 2018, the 25% tariff on steel and 10% on aluminum for most countries.
Yes.
This is justified by concern of declining domestic production. Mm-hmm. And it said military readiness.
Yeah, it's caused national security.
Right.
Yeah, threaten the national security. That's important.
So then it was actually 2020 to 2023 was the expansion. Mm-hmm. Now, this included derivative products like nails, wire, auto parts. Mm-hmm. This is where we get into that 400 plus. So yes. Everybody starts putting all these HTS codes into the system. It just grows and grows and grows. And then tariffs on Russian aluminum raised to 200% in response to geopolitical tensions. Mm-hmm. That got stuck in there. Now here we are, 2025 updates. So to start with, what is Section 232 as you and I sit here today in 2025? What is this?
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned it, right? It was not new. What is new is how aggressively it is being used under the current administration. So it was this Under Trade Expansion Act from 1962, which gave President broad authority to adjust imports that threaten national security, right? So that's why we have aluminum, steel products, right? Traditionally, they would have likely be used in the military, heavy military use or in defense articles. But now the scope has been expanded, like you said, cover the derivatives, auto parts, now timber products, pharmaceutical products, semiconductors. So the scope has been expanded extensively. Yep. So that's new.
Well, why does Section 232 take priority when all these multiple tariffs now apply?
Yeah, I think the logic is grounded in the national security is the reason for President to post the Section 232. We know with China we have the Section 301 that is imposed because of unfair trade, and IEEPA reciprocal, right? That is also imposed because of the economic unfairness. So that's why we want reciprocal tariffs. But Section 232 is different. It's grounded in national security, which we believe that's kind of like a lot of the people are saying the Section 301 and IEEPA duties are being challenged in the court, but they all believe that Section 232 will be, the backup, because usually when it comes to Section 232, President has more authority, and the court has been historically defer to President when it comes to the national security judgment, right? Yeah. So they would believe that Section 232 may be the backup plan, and that also be the reason why the current administration is doubling down on the Section 232 duties.
I thought it was mostly China. It's really not. A lot of it was coming from Canada.
Yeah, it's a universal, right? It's they have some deals with UK, with Japan, but yeah, it's generally applied from from imports from all over the place. It's not only to China.
So I see a lot of the questions that are popping in on these meetings that we're having on the business development. What does this tariff stacking actually look like? Where the hell am I? I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this.
Yes.
You know, what applies? Does this get canceled out? Does this take priority? Where am I?
Yes, it's probably the most headache topic in 2025. Just the changes, there have been so many changes, so many updates. Even for a practitioner like me, I find it quite confusing to to work on those things. Of course, I know it's probably importers or even brokers who are equipped with years of experience still feel puzzled when it comes to the stacking, raw stacking. Does this cancel out each other? Does this apply? Does that apply? So if you look at the IEPA, I think this one is actually under IEPA frequently asked questions on CBP's website. It's recently updated, I believe, in the late August, like early September. I think it's late August. They have this new stacking guidance. Basically, it's Section 232 is on top of everything. You applies first, but I do want to say that Section 232 is applied in addition to all the other duties, like general duties, anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties, right, and also Section 301 duties, as well as the February there is a 20% on Chinese goods due to the fentanyl, like illegal fentanyl imports, right? So that's Section 232 is applied, first of all, in addition to all the above duties.
Okay.
Right? And then if it's auto parts, then the rest does not apply. If it's a derivative section, aluminum or steel derivatives, it's the Section 232 content is subject to the Section 232 50%. And the rest of the non-Section 232 content are still subject to the other measure, like IEPA reciprocal, right? All these other things. So there is also some nuance between like copper and alumina as steel derivatives. I think the difference is on the IEPA Mexico and Canada duties, but I do highly recommend anyone to go to look at that. And also, a lot of times the facts are very varies. I do think it can get quite technical. I would highly recommend you to talk to an expert to really understand how this works and how these tariffs interact with each other.
I hear a lot of people screaming out, "I'm so confused! I don't know how to look at this." Well, here's the thing.
That's all really dramatic, Bob.
Well, just saying. What the hell is CBP looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's we know, right? Section 232. Despite we're saying it's grounded in the national security, now we kind of think it's more maybe it's for the revenue, generation, right? CBP is enforcing these tariffs very aggressively.
Oh yeah.
And then what they are looking for. First of all, a lot of Section 232 are driven by the HTS code. That means you really need to have the correct classifications, right? Or if you just all of a sudden changed your classifications to a one that are not subject to 232, right? As soon as that came out. That will probably be considered problematic. That will send some flags. They would also look at some lower hanging fruits, such as the usage of Chapter 99 codes.
Yeah.
A lot of these things is, we are seeing so many different executive orders came out this year, and the CBP system and then A system or broker system, they are, they can't catch up with those changes, right? So they just implement those changes through a new Chapter 99 codes. So there are so many Chapter 99 codes, and maybe there could be some errors. They shouldn't use this one. Instead, they use that one, right? They use Russia while the country origin is not Russia, or they misuse exclusions, right, through different codes. So misusage of Chapter 99 codes is definitely also another flag. And also the declaration, like now per CBP's requirement for steel, you need to declare the origin of a melt and pour, right? For aluminum derivatives, you need to declare a smelt and cast. So those, they could see if there is inconsistency between a country origin and what you declared, right? Those are very easy things that can trigger CBP's further questions, where I want to come to have a conversation with you, right?
28.
And we don't even talk about the valuation, which is most probably the highly just debated area now. What is the valuation of the Section 232 content? If it's raw materials, does that include a processing cost, a conversion cost? Does the Section 232 applies to the component that includes the Section 232 content? We do have, some informal guidance from the Metal C circulated, but, we still haven't have any clear guidance from headquarters, right? Yeah. So it's just a lot of, there is a lot of uncertainty, quite confused.
Based on that alone, in 3 minutes or less. Yeah. Well, give me some best practices then that companies can use to navigate this.
Yeah. So first one, I think this, the collaboration is, the collaboration with your suppliers and your brokers. Okay. We talk about all the challenges. We all know it's confusing, it's difficult, you can feel puzzled when it comes to this decade. But a lot of things is, that means every step in this process, if any of this, or any of the one, like say supplier, they miscalculated the valuations, or they wouldn't be able to split the invoice for you, right? That can cause an issues. Or if you're broker, if there's some, exclusions or some of the, the documentation were not properly shared with brokers, and they made an error too, right? So, and, not only a lot of time these days, we also have clients came to us telling us, hey, we found out, some errors from broker when it comes to the recent IEEPA duties and Section 232. I was not surprised because it's very difficult, and sometimes brokers just do not have the resource to keep up with the changes and also audit themselves, right? So it's very important you go back to audit what your broker did for you in this time. And then also yourself, you need to understand the requirements, stay up of the games, right? And involved with your trade association. And it becomes quite important in these days. I just want to give you a quick example. Section 232 is an evolving process. It has an inclusion process, meaning they have anyone who believes that this import of such products would the increase of such imports would threaten national security. They could ask Commerce to include that HDS code into the Section 232 actions, right? So the last cycle of the aluminum and steel derivatives just like the public comment period just ended this Tuesday, right? Yep. So immediately when it's the docket opened for public comment, I got just a note from my client told me, hey, we knew our products were added on the process. I was quite impressed because I knew that the public docket just opened probably 15 minutes earlier. So I wondered, hey, how did you learn about this? Yeah. And he informed me he learned it from his trade associations. So they were tracking this, and they also know like who was actually doing a lot of those requests. So I just want to say like that's kind of become more relevant these days because you can you can make sure you got notified right away and you act on it quickly. So in this case, we are able to have sufficient time to prepare for the rebuttal.
It sounds like you're in the trenches on this.
Yes, we did. And another thing is just self-audit yourself, right? Audit a broker's work is kind of what I mentioned. And also constantly maybe bookmark those important pages from CBV's website, the frequently asked questions, right? Yep. And find a trusty consultant you can lean on, right?
Or you.
Yeah, you can rely on.
Or you.
No, not necessarily me, but someone,
right.
Yeah, make this conversation open.
And this conversation needs to come to a close as we've run out of time, Kerry.
Yes.
I really appreciate you stopping by and giving us kind of more insight on this 232.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.